I'm watching the politicians in Washington, and I'm watching them demanding the names of private citizens who received pay packages they don't agree with. I'm watching them preparing to pass legislation to confiscate their private property from them. I am watching them destroying one industry after another, sabotaging one industry after another. Banking, housing, automobile, energy, healthcare. I am watching them tear this country apart. I am watching them and listening to them using extreme Marxist language to condemn private citizens and private enterprise. I am watching them destroy the stock market and the pension and other investments that so many rely on. I am watching them massively expand the size and authority of the federal government in every direction. I am watching them prepare to violate the First Amendment to the Constitution as they focus their designs on talk radio. I'm watching them prepare to violate the Second Amendment as they focus their designs on the right to bear arms. I'm watching them violate the Fifth Amendment as they assault private property rights through direct confiscation and indirect regulatory takings. I'm watching them violate the 10th Amendment as they stomp all over the authority of the states. I'm watching them nationalize local education. I'm watching them destroy the census system by paying the criminal enterprise called Acorn to help recruit censor counters. I'm watching them unilaterally disarm against the terrorists by undoing some of the most effective Bush administration policies. I'm watching them turn once again against our military by preparing to slash the Pentagon's budget and force our soldiers to pay for their own injury-related expenses. I'm watching them expand abortion, endorse same-sex marriage, and prepare to nominate left-wing activist judges who will uphold all of it. We are seeing as a nation the consequences of electing a statist ideologue to our highest office. More and more of the rhetoric coming from the White House and the Democrat Party and the Democrat leaders in Congress sounds like the kind of demagoguery we hear from the Castro brothers, from Hugo Chavez, from tyrants of the past. Give us their names. We want to make them public. We want to punish them. We want to humiliate their families. That's where we've gone now. That's what the hearings were all about today. We are seeing the tactics of the statists employed against one industry after another, against one segment of our society after another, and against one person after another. We are seeing extraordinary demands for new power, more resources, and far-reaching laws that have as their purpose the empowerment of the statist, that is, the politicians and the bureaucrats in Washington. We're seeing a president who is turning his back on our allies, such as Britain and Israel, Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, Georgia and Colombia, to name some, as he carries favor with Cuba, Syria, Iran, Russia, and China. Now, for conservatives and anyone who loves this country, these are tough times. Our fundamental principles, which undergird the founding documents and our way of life, are clearly under assault. And even among us, we have charlatans who have no understanding or a superficial understanding of politics, philosophy, history, and the Constitution, and pose as weird televangelists, if you will, and others who insist that statism is too strong, too ingrained in our nation now, and our only hope is to surrender our principles by redefining them out of existence and suing for some kind of acceptance by the statist. Let's surrender and work on the peace We have to reject all of this on our side. This is clutter. This is misdirection. We need to think bigger than this, because we are bigger than this, and this moment is a big moment. The soft tyranny we are facing will require a smarter and more comprehensive response. The status has had 80 years to bring us to this point, and they are now more aggressive and better positioned than ever before. And yet, there are more of us than there are of them. We are the biggest army of educators and activists in the nation. I've talked about this 1,000 times. If we use our minds and our time to take back this country. But we must be armed with information, with judgment, with wisdom. Not clownish antics, not demands that we give up our principles. And from this will flow confidence and political action. It is not enough to quote the founders, but we must quote them. It is not enough to talk about capitalism, but we must talk about it. It is not enough to refer to the Constitution, but we must do that too. It's not enough to merely speak of faith, although we will speak of faith. For we are all of this and more. It is time to understand the essence of who we are as Americans, as free people. Who we are as the American people. Why do we cherish certain principles? Why do we reject and recoil at certain behavior? Why do we so easily understand the importance of the individual in this nation and the rule of law that we call the Constitution and God-given natural rights as explained in the Declaration of Independence? Why are these so crucial? We need to know more. We need to get beyond the surface. So these things become part of our soul, part of our being. It's already there, but we have to tap into it. We have to understand why this is such a crucial period and our principles are so right on. And we also need to understand what motivates the statist. Because if we're going to be able to stop them, contain them, and then push them back, we need to do more than just identify what they're doing. We need to understand who they are and what they are. And in fact, that they do in fact reject our founding principles, which are the conservative principles. This is what we'll take some time talking about over the next weeks and months. It is absolutely crucial that we build up our confidence, that we spread the word, and that we behave like July 4th Americans. July 4th Americans.